Hi, Jen here from Jen Michelle Coaching, and today I want to tell a story around trying hard was really draining me. So here's what I had to do instead. And I know that many of you can probably relate to this, where you just feel drained and you have to constantly rally, keep things going, try to do it with a big smile on your face. And so, how to combat some of this pressure, and sometimes it's self-induced, but sometimes it's very outside real pressures that we're dealing with in the outside world, and how to feel grounded and steady and balanced in our body in a world that asks so much of us. For those of you new to my channel, I would love to invite you to subscribe. I release a video weekly. So, when we're feeling drained, the sort of instinct is to speed everything up, to hurry up, cram it through, get it done. But this does come at the expense of ourselves. We end up hardening, feeling a lot of density, a lot of heaviness, a lot of high pressure energy in the body that is just a matter of time before it gets released in a not so great way. And so, slowing ourselves down to work with these willful parts is key. So, if you have a very demanding job, or if you're a mom and there's constant demands with the kids, or whatever it is going on in your life, starting to work with those willful parts to really slow yourself down. I had to do this in my own life, where it's like, where am I revved up? And where do I actually need to get still within myself, really sit with this so I can access a more devotional, more intentional, more sacred current that lives underneath. So I am not treating my life like a means to an end. So when I'm doing the dishes, I'm like doing the dishes versus like rapid fire, like hurry up and do it because now there's this or now there's that. And instead, it's like, where am I treating life as a means to an end, as checking a box, and where can I actually be present, kind of drop into my body, be here for it, even though I kind of want to escape? Where can I work with those parts and start to soften some of these internal edges and really just begin to regulate my nervous system by asking, is this intense, fast-paced response necessary? Does it match the situation outside of me? Most of the time, no, meaning kind of like that bear is chasing you kind of feeling. Most of the time, the answer is no. So, okay, where can I take a few deep breaths? Where can I ground myself? Where can I look at this differently and begin to become willing to invite this in? Number two, learning how to put the ego in the back seat, because this is it, right? The ego's the part of it that wants it done now, that wants the final outcome, that wants to bulldoze its way through to get a feeling, to get safety, to get it accomplished, to win, whatever it is, right? So we have to begin to learn how to put the ego in the back seat so the conscious self is leading, right? How often in love have we made really bad decisions because we so wanted to be in a relationship, or we so wanted to be married, or we so wanted to have a baby, and discernment went out the window because the ego was running the show, right? Because the ego doesn't have eyes to see. So those red flags, or those things that got swept under the rug because you wanted it so bad, they didn't become visible until later. And you begin to really recognize how much you could have just learned through observation versus having to directly experience the consequence of rushing it or of ignoring it or bulldozing through it, right? And so discernment is very much a quality of the soul, meaning that we're judging well. We're slowing down to see how another person does their life. I'm using this as a relationship example, right? Because we see that the way a person lives their life is the way that they're going to do a relationship, right? The way they're going to handle themselves in a relationship. So it's like, if um, you are observing the man being rude to the waiter, um, let's say he doesn't have any long-term friendships or a good relationship with his family and he's burned a bunch of bridges. He's constantly switching jobs because his boss is not respecting him or not appreciating him. Look at his patterns, right? Look at who he is and look at the common denominator. But if we are so desperate for something outside of ourselves, we are much more likely to rationalize these things that the body knows and is saying, hey, pay attention. But we end up overriding it through the ego because the ego is on a mission. So it doesn't have time for any of that stuff. But of course, anything that is not built from the ground up, we will have to revisit again later, right? Number 3, this was a really big one for me, and this is a sneaky one as well. Pride. I allowed a lot of pride to direct me. I can't do that. I won't look like the expert, or I can't do that. I'll look not put together. The ego, this is another mechanism of the ego because the ego wants to present well. It doesn't like to look dumb or like a newbie or just awkward, right? It wants to present well, but where is that actually blocking us from stepping into something deeper in our lives and really trusting ourselves? So, where is there something where you really want to share from your heart, or you really want to express or share your creativity a new way, but pride is blocking you because you were not willing to look silly or be ridiculed? And there's still these parts of you that are trying to control the way the outside world perceives you. And where can you really begin to make this a sacred exchange between you and the divine so you are not concerned about what other humans think of you? This doesn't mean that you take the pendulum to the other extreme where you're so grandiose and you're like Superman, where it's like, you don't like it too bad. You're still considerate for other people, but you're not letting the outside world and how they perceive you limit you or control you, because this keeps you kind of in bondage. You are not liberated if you care more about what people think of you than really stepping into that greater call, right? And so begin to work with pride because that drains us. All that energy of caring about what other people think or trying to control their perception of us or needing to be liked and needing to be viewed a certain way completely drains us. And to begin to say, I can't feed that anymore is extremely freeing. And you will feel light, you will have more energy, and you will have more purpose because you are saying yes to yourself. And the people that you attract from this space, you feel more confident because they are getting to know the real you versus the version that you used to uphold in order to gain acceptance and love. So there is no doubt in your mind that they are beginning to fall in love with or enjoy or connect with the truest version of you that you have access to in that moment, because this is always evolving. I would love to hear how these 3 tips or these 3 steps really support you in your own life and how maybe you relate to some aspects of my personal story. For those of you that are interested, I would love to invite you to book an introductory call with me. I have my calendar open now. And this is a call where we can spend 50 minutes together getting to know you and your story. You will get direct, clear advice from me and ways that I can support you that you can apply immediately after the call, and consider longer term mentorship with me if that is something that you are wanting or needing in your life right now. I look forward to speaking with you. Please feel free to share anything in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Much love.